Personal story segment tonight. You may remember that after my interview with President Obama on Super Bowl Sunday, some left-wing loons counted up the number of times I interrupted the president. The first tally was around 20. Now I believe the number is up to 2,000. The truth is that TV interviewers who want to get answers must interrupt their guests. Here's the proof.
The House Republican budget.
I'm asking you about your budget, sir.
Chris, may I answer?
Well, yes, I'm asking you to answer my question, which is that the best Democrats can do?
I'm going to finish one way or the other here, Chris. The House Republican budget takes all of its cuts out of 12% of our budget.
Some people want mandatory retirement age, where you would have to take it, raised up till about 67. Are you for that? Do you want to raise that mandatory age to 67 retirement?
Everything is going to have to change for those who are enrolled in the program now and will be enrolled in the program now, but we do not change the pension benefits of those who are receiving them now, and that's where people are fearing. And I really apologize that up here in Alaska we have this 4-second delay, so it's not an easy exchange to try to get my point across to you if you interrupt.
Joining us now from Washington, the anchor of Fox News Sunday, Chris Wallace. So look, I don't want to have to interrupt Sarah Palin or Barack Obama or anybody. I asked Sarah Palin a direct question. Didn't answer. U.S. Durbin, a direct question. Tell me about the Democratic budget. How come you're not cutting anything out of it? He wants to talk about the Republican budget. I saw it 3 times. You asked him. Now, when we do this, inevitably we get email. You're rude. You're a barbarian. You're a Hun. How do you see it?
Well, in your case, they're right, Bill. But in my case, they're wrong. And you know, the problem, of course, is that the politicians, and this is just a steady progression, have gotten better at better, more scripted, more talking points, and they view your question as simply a departure to give an answer, whether the answer is related to the question or not. I mean, I literally was saying 3 times to Dick Durbin, what are you going to do? And 3 times he said the House Republican budget.
Yeah, I mean, it was absurd. But look, I think this is getting worse. See, I think it's getting worse now. I think these guys know, and gals know, they can come on these programs and do whatever they want to do. And if you, the interviewer, and I consider my job to get answers from questions. We told Sarah Palin wanted specific entitlement cuts and specific strategies on entitlements. That's what we want. Instead, the governor wanted to give a speech that she has given literally 50 times before. Now, when I cut her off, she got teed off at me. I understand that. If I were her, I probably would have been teed off as well. But my job is to get answers to specific questions. But I don't know if the audience gets that or not. I think they think I'm an idiot.
You know, my father and I have talked about this a lot, because the fact is, 60 Minutes, they'll do an hour or 2-hour interview,
and then
they have the luxury of being able to edit. They can let the guy talk on and then edit it. But what you're doing and what I'm doing is sausage making. The audience is watching us as we news gather in real time. You have 4 minutes for this segment, or I have 12 minutes for Durbin. And if he goes off on a tangent, that's taking time out of the interview. I have to cut him off, or he's just going to waste my time and, more importantly, the audience's time.
Do you think the audience understands what's going on en masse? I mean, do you think that they have any sympathy for you and me in what we're trying to do here?
Well, I hate to say this, but I think a lot of it has to do with politics. In other words, if you're interrupting somebody they don't like, they're all for it. If you're interrupting somebody they like, they get ticked off at you.
Okay, but does the audience now, because cable news has been on the air now for 14 years at Fox News, CNN's a different animal. They don't do a lot of opinion stuff. I just wonder whether the American public gets teed off at the politicians who don't answer their questions. I do. See, that drives me. When Durbin wasn't answering your question, I was going like this: answer its question. Well, I don't want my time wasted by propaganda.
And I know, for instance, when you interviewed President Obama and you talk about the criticism you got, and I say this respectfully about the president, he gives long answers. He gives long answers to you. He gives long answers to everyone. And if you've got and they have a very strict time limit, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever it is.
Well, he wasn't bad, though, I have to say.
If you let him give his full answer, you're going to get about 3 questions in.
You can't. But he wasn't bad. In that interview, we moved that interview along. We got to 6 or 7 topics, and he didn't try that filibuster stuff. So I have to say that. So you believe that the audience does get it or does not get it, or it's all partisan politics.
Well, I think they get it to some degree, but again, I find in the response to me, if it's let's say it's a conservative emailing me, they are much more sympathetic to me interrupting a liberal Democrat than they are a conservative Republican.
And I think that's true. All right, who do you got coming up on Fox News Sunday?
We'll be interrupting Senator Mitch McConnell. We'll talk to him about the budget and energy prices in Libya.
All right. Thanks very much, Chris. Plenty more ahead as The Factor moves along this evening.